Oh, don't worry about it. Rita?
Like a movie star, so
Too late now.
Hello.
Hi.
Jeannie's got the classic.
Oh, Joe.
Hi, Terry.
I didn't realize she had audio
Another one of you.
She was taking these pictures. We were on a boat. We were at, what do they call it? The river walk down in Alamo, at the Alamo. We were down, and we were riding a boat. And I said, and I quoted, Jeannie, get that damn thing on my face. And the audio. So I guess I made a big hit with all of her friends. Because she'd play it, she'd say, this is my mother-in-law.
When are they gonna get home?
Well, they thought Thanksgiving, but they're not going to.
We're having a big day Thanksgiving.
It's just that you let
We're having all the McClellans, all the Marches,
That sounds great.
and my mom's
It's
birthday.
fun.
When are you guys coming up for Mom's birthday?
I have no idea.
We'll have to.
Are you gonna make it?
Well, time is drawing nigh. I was hoping that I would hear from some of the Blair family. They were supposed to bring Phyllis back over to the hospital. But they just said October, and I didn't know when. And I thought,
What's wrong, Phil?
but Phyllis is the one in the pictures.
Oh, the diabetic?
Yeah, and when she
Okay.
comes for her eyes, they're trying desperately to save part of the one eye. One's gone, the other one, it's some horrible process of draining the eye. They drain
No, there's no
the
connection
fluids
as such.
from
You can
the
just let yourself get
eye
it does.
ball around, then flush it again. I don't know, but it.
For like dialysis with the kidneys, huh? They flush it.
I don't know. But anyway, it doesn't sound very pleasant, but it has at least slowed the process. So she has some vision. Not a great deal. So anyway, she was supposed to make another trip, and I don't know when, but I'd kind of like to contact them and see if Norma Jean's bringing them over or something. See, and there is another brother, Ted.
So then I crawled out of it when I come to.
This was a big family.
You got the EMS. Now I'm gonna be
And this is Granny's
This
oldest,
would be
Brothers.
Granny's oldest brother's children.
Well, after you pass.
and his name was
Ivan.
Ivan. Okay.
And Phyllis was the oldest girl. There were two older boys, but they're both gone now. One had a couple children. The one is Kenneth's son, and his name was Leslie Kenneth, by the way. He was named for Dad. And he was Kenneth.
When we were playing.
And they never married. No. And then Phyllis. But anyway, as they progressed down, there was Ted, who was a little younger than me, I think. And he also has diabetes, and he is blind, and he is in a wheelchair, and is completely helpless. Completely. Staying with Norma Jean.
So he's kept every one of them dead. Took care of them.
In one way or another, she was kind of, and Bob is he's very stable, and nothing was ever expected of her.
Oh, Bill.
Oh, you haven't heard the classic.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, but you have to turn the camera off.
I'm
You have
in
to turn the camera off.
I'm in
You have
big
to turn-
trouble with
You
my
have to
daughter.
turn the camera off. and
Okay,
turn
the camera's
your
off.
hearing aids down.
Okay.
It is not, is it?
Yeah, I
Tell them
saw.
what you did to the boys. They were a little,
Which boy?
our grandsons.
Well, which one?
14, 15, David, Michael, and Ben.
Oh, okay.
Okay, they were visiting us,
Okay.
you know, and
We
Bill-
were camping and we were under a
He
little
was
strain,
they were off with grandpa,
I had them lined up.
kind of,
We-
you know.
ready to go fishing, and they didn't know how to take this old man. They've been around me too much, so I lined them up against this cliff that I want to take their pictures. And I said, okay, now smile, say shit.
And they did.
I got their
pictures are
picture, they're
darling.
going into this hysterics, you know.
So from there on in, they weren't uneasy with
Well,
Grandpa.
I
I
ran a
think-
hand up like this.
And they were all, I think they were thinking, you know, old Grandpa's gonna make a behave and you're gonna only be able to do this,
Oh,
that, and the other
and wouldn't
thing.
you know
You
it,
know, I mean,
somehow Cameron got that word.
Cameron's 6.
When I was taking the
He
picture
is
of all
now,
of
he
them
wasn't
out on
then.
my back step, his mother was right behind him. And there they all were, and I was up there ready, and I said, okay, everybody, and Cameron says, shit. Shit, you know, and Jenna says, Dad.
When my kid goes out in public and he says something like that, I'm gonna call him up and I'm gonna say, guess what his grandfather did for a living? Guess what his grandfather.
he would, he taught school.
He's 6 now.
He was probably one of the best teachers.
Talk about a cute one. Woo.
Cam?
One that Janet went in when he was little, found him swinging on the chandelier.
What?
He climbed on the dining room table and was swinging on the chandelier.
He was
Oh, my word.
pull himself up, and he was singing. Oh, this is.
A flying trapeze?
This is not just any old chandelier. This is one that she bought with the excess moving money she got when she went to Belgium, which means that this is Belgian crystal with all the prisms.
Oh,
This gets
no.
Oh, that was funny.
kill me.
Really?
How old was he when he did that?
Oh, year and a half.
It wasn't just
Big enough to
climb.
climb on the chairs and get up on the table.
He reached the chandelier.
Reach the chandelier, he could pull himself up.
I'm so glad I had my normal children.
And she moved all the chairs away and she
did
put
that, they
away.
did everything else. They didn't do that.
Mine didn't do anything.
I probably didn't have a chandelier when they were little.
Sure I didn't.
Even if you had, but anyway, you know how you have, that was a prized possession, it's still a very prized
Maybe you had
possession.
inactive.
For crying out
Oh,
loud.
no, they were active.
Mine were all slow learners, so.
Yeah,
They
so
were
slow to climb, so.
Yep.
Oh, I thought that was a funny thing to be told there.
Oh, well.
Those older kids.
Talking about kids,
Yeah, I told it to you.
grandkids,
Sure.
kids, grandsons.
Talking about this during that often.
Bill.
It was funny.
They
once,
knew he'd get by with saying it, and they wouldn't, that was the whole thing of it.
Well, but Grandpa did, see, and they just thought that was hilarious. But it did break the ice, and they had a wonderful time. They were up at Mohegan, around, you know,
Mhm.
and camping, and fishing, and swimming, and had a wonderful time. And then he took them to a place down in the country, and they shot. They
The
all
president's in
ended up with guns, with BB
President's in
guns,
Columbus.
which I don't approve of.
Yeah, but that's not his
Grandpa.
plane, that's
Oh,
American
oh.
West's new plane.
And he
Oh,
went-
yeah, Ohio, yeah.
Yeah, that's their
He
new
was
plane.
teaching
Oh,
them
okay.
shooting.
Yeah.
Then they were down in
I
the
thought maybe it was
base,
the presidential.
one end of the base.
American West.
Set up
I thought maybe it was
to the
This is their
other
new plane that they're putting
back
out,
part of the basement.
see, and it's got Ohio on it, that's because
Because you couldn't
Columbus
go
is their
outdoors with these
hub.
things, see?
That's where they fly in and out of them,
They
at their
were
main offices
practicing.
there.
And then he took them
And they're
out to the
decorated in
country.
red,
This
white,
is
and blue,
private
and your stars.
property. And
All
yeah,
their planes are
pictures
gonna
of
be
them
like that.
killing.
They've only got one or
Blowing up
two ready
snakes.
now, but they're all gonna go.
I didn't know that when she was showing that, I thought it was a president.
No, this is.
They're good marksmen.
planes they're gonna put out.
And Bills, they were fantastic, so they went off to the fair, and they were winning prizes. And the fellow, I guess, was running this thing, he
Yeah.
wanted to do it.
How much did you
What do
win
they
at the
call them?
races?
Ringers.
Charlie,
You know,
Woodley
like you-
Daily Double
You
and
look like dumb kids.
$340-some.
Where did you, well,
And
where'd you
both
fellows
races,
learn
they
to
had to
shoot?
win a place ticket.
You
and
know,
they
you,
were about
oh,
$400.
yeah, we just
Well,
learned,
good
you
for
know.
Charlie.
And I think
He wouldn't have bid it, but it was his age. 77. And somebody said, oh, you bet your age, no wonder.
They aren't afraid to perform, you
He
know.
said, no, he
I
said, I
mean,
didn't.
you would say, ooh, I don't know what to do with this gun.
He said, I just,
Well,
walking up to the window, we bet $2.
and they were
I
out
walked up
doing
to the
each
window and I
other.
heard some man say
So they
$20 on
came
7th week.
Prizes.
And he said,
The
my
biggies,
land, if you can bet $20, maybe it'd be a good bet for me to put $2.
Yeah, they don't
So
usually
they
do
went
that.
back and he sit down, they looked at
They're,
it.
they
Well,
they were a lot of fun.
if you can bet $20, I'll bet $2.
But it's
So you
two
look for a daily
families,
double and so you
but
look
they
at
were
the
13,
horses
14,
in the second
15.
race.
And
And I'm sure in the back of his mind, everybody excused him.
Good eggs.
77.
They hated that. But they were,
Too bad.
they were fixing kids.
Good for him.
He couldn't laugh, he couldn't talk, he was stunned.
I'd like that for my birthday.
I would too. I would too.
How much you say they want?
$357, but he, in both races, he bet the horse to win and horse to place. So on one, he won $30-some, one $40-some. The total on the two races, he won about $450.
When Francis and I, before we were married, and we went down to Teen
I
London.
told him, we were always teasing, I said, Charlie, if that was me, I'd go to the bathroom, I would pin that back to my underwear, I'd be afraid somebody pick my pocket. But they gave to me $100 bills, not $50. You kind of look around and see who's standing behind my underwear.
They get the IRS, you know, really, when you go so far.
Somebody said that you have to have, is it over 500 or over 600? What is it?
500.
Is it 500? I'm just gonna say, you go so far, and
Uh-huh.
they're there.
And they're there, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're
You have to
there.
fill out papers.
Yeah, you fill out papers and you turn around, they send them right in right
Yeah.
away. Yeah, my father-in-law would go to the dog races.
Uh-huh.
And he said that there'd be people who win $1,000 and
Uh-huh.
they'd be right there, you'd have to
Very
fill
Well,
out
that's
the
what
form.
they're telling us, you know.
Yeah, they get you before you even get the money in there.
Right.
But
That's
that's the
right.
only way you'd ever bid.
Yeah.
He had a big daily double. It was his birth, it was really his age when he bet. We accused him of that, and he said, no, really, it wasn't my age, because we know he's 77. And that's what you bet with your age, 77.
77?
You'd swear he's probably 50. These young people that we associate with, Bill Children, you'd never
What do
guess
you have, the
he-
Sunday paper?
You'd never guess he was 80 years old.
Heavens to Betsy.
No, I always bring our morning paper down
Oh,
to
you-
Mother or I just leave it
I
on.
thought you had just brought
No,
today's paper in on.
No, that's our
This is
morning
only
paper.
Friday.
I brought,
This
what?
is
This
just
is
Friday.
only Friday.
So it wouldn't be Sunday paper
Wouldn't be
yet.
Sunday.
Did I say Sunday?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I guess because it looked like so much. I brought a card of ours. I had
Trace
traced
up
up the front page.
There's my boy right
Hello,
over there.
Matthew.
You wanna come over and say something? Matthew?
I have really anything to say now.
See, can't you dance? Sing?
Yeah, come over here and dance or something.
Oh, shucks.
How about your ballet?
Well, do a just do a ballet, yeah, do a ballet.
Let me think of one. Granny and I are gonna do one later.
Okay.
She's gonna flip me. We practiced it earlier.
Oh, Matthew.
Okay, is there anything anybody wants to say that we didn't get on tape before?
How in the world do we know? We didn't know you had it on.
No, I meant the tape you got that you watched.
I thought that was cute.
Me too.
And I really should see it again. It's been so long. It was a long time ago.
It was a long time before I got to sit down and
Well, it
watch
was
it.
a year ago.
I didn't get
Well,
to
then I
it.
don't feel so bad.
She
She just gave
hasn't
it to
had
me
an
last
hour.
week.
I had it, she had it for a long time.
Well, I just got it last week, so I don't feel bad about not seeing it yet.
With taking care of Ed and doing my nursing duties, I couldn't find time to watch it.
It only took about an hour.
It's about 2 hours, isn't
2
it?
hours.
Well, I don't really, it's been a long time since I saw it too, but I mean, did we go into the process of how you guys met your husbands?
How we watch?
Yeah.
How you met your
Maybe.
husbands?
Yeah. It was all in high school.
Well, yes, it was it. That's how I met
It
him.
was the beginning of the end of high school.
High school?
Yeah.
I was the Tiger Grill.
And we danced Wilson. I can feel it.
He's shaking, huh?
He's scared of me. At that time.
At that time.
At that time. Yeah.
I don't think we got that on tape though. I think we're out of view.
And when Ed thought my
Show you
ring,
real quick.
Rita
There's
saw
one
it.
down there on this side.
She and Margaret Jane saw the ring before.
I'm not making, just me.
Oh, I thought
Margaret
you
Jane
were.
was on the other, she was living on the other side of the street.
Oh, I thought you had.
No, I thought they'd wanted to know, I thought it was all
Okay, now
right
you
for
probably
me.
want the microwave.
You should have said no.
Why'd you say no?
Oh, don't start that. Stupid. No.
Okay, Rita, how did you and Francis meet?
Oh, Lord, Derry, I don't know, it's been too long.
She drove in to get gas.
Probably.
And
No, I knew him when I was
Fell
in training.
in
He
line.
came to see Lorna.
Isn't that what you did? I don't know. I don't-
He came to see Lorna when he was, when we were in training. Now, you'll never know that I caught that on fire.
Okay. It just melted.
Well, I think we got how you met Pop, and you move your head a minute. And Ed and you went to school together?
No, he graduated 2 years before me. And one night, he came home from college, we were at the Tiger Grill, and he asked me to dance. See?
Romantic.
Where's the Tiger Grill?
That was a block away from Ironton High School.
On the
That's
corner
where all
of
the
6th
kids.
and Oak.
Oh,
That's where all the kids.
okay. Was that where Tad Mays was when we were in school then?
Offices now.
And there's
isn't
a,
it?
Fairchild's dental office and Barnes's accounting office.
Yeah,
It's right on the corner of 6th and Oak.
but they had
Oh,
a jukebox.
okay.
Minor.
They had a jukebox and we danced.
Mary Minor.
Whoever had a dime to put in the jukebox and we danced.
a dime.
Was it a dime?
I bet it was a nickel. I bet it was a nickel.
You could spend an awful lot of time down there if you had a quarter.
Yeah, it was a nickel. You got 6 for a quarter.
You could
6
either
cents.
have
Yeah.
You could either have a Coke or you could play the jukebox.
What did you dance to?
Huh?
What song did you dance to?
My beloved.
That was the song that was, no, My Desire, that's My
My
Desire.
desire.
That's-
Yeah,
That was
my
the song.
desire.
Now ask me.
Remember that. Okay.
What the song was, Moonlight Becomes You. It's still our song. We don't know it sometimes when they're playing it, and it's still. It's an old song.
That was the first song you danced to with Bill.
The
But
Tiger
you were
Grill
in
was
high school.
wonderful. The Tiger Grill had about this much space in it, and half of the kids in Ironton High School were there.
Sounds like Tad
That's the only
Mays.
place they had to go, you know, during those years, there was no cars.
And-
That was during the war years.
And
there
you
was
could
some
dance,
cars,
but
but
you
there was no gas.
we danced around supporting
tires in the
pillars.
Yeah.
There were a
So
few
the kids had
booths
a
and people
place,
stood around.
We
and-
walked.
And we walked.
We walked.
It was great.
Because we didn't have a nickel to go on that Beechwood Loop bus.
Why would
So
we
we
do
walked.
that?
Well, even
So
in,
even if we went downtown, we walked most of the
well,
time.
even in the
Except
50s,
when it was cold.
we walked.
I rode last night.
Well,
Last
once in a
time I
great
tell you a
while,
story,
but we
when
walked it all
Ed
the
and I
time.
were dating, I had a real close friend that moved to Cleveland. I guess it was right before our senior, no, before our junior year, and the next summer they came to visit, and she brought the boy that she later married, Jack Winship, Sarah Ann Neal.
Yeah.
And so Sarah Ann wanted Ed and I to go over to Ashland. There was a place in there called Ragnar's where we went, and they had the same thing that Nickelodeon, we danced and so forth. And so it was a spur of the moment thing. We went with them, Jack and Sarah Ann, they had a car over, and so, we all ordered a Coke. Or Sarah Ann and I ordered. And so Sarah Ann, I had ordered a Coke. So Sarah said, I'm gonna want some potato chips. And I said, oh, that sounds good. Ed's face fell, and he looked at Jack, he said, I've only got mine. So I mean, Jack had my, like, potato chips. So Ed wouldn't have Coke. He bought me a Coke, he waited to see if I wanted something else, and I didn't think, so he ordered Coke.
That was all we did for
So
what?
that was four.
It wasn't so bad, it was kind of handy.
Yes, it was. It could get a little embarrassing at times, like the time Bill bought me a hamburger at the, you know,
I've
the
been
5
for
cents
all
piece.
my life. I don't know else but
And
four.
a Coke. And
I would
he
know
didn't
what
eat
the
anything, and I
ordinance
thought,
mean.
oh, this is terrible, here I am, I'm eating hamburgers, you know. And the whole trio was, he didn't have any money, he had enough to pay for mine and everything.
Oh,
See,
Well, I always
we'd gone
wanted
to,
to.
we'd gone to a
I don't
movie,
know
if
what
I
I've
had
done,
just
but
had a
I
Coke, I
hadn't
would
been
have
living with us when I was a senior in high school, because I wore all her clothes to high school.
I wore all hers.
I wore all Baptist's.
Well, I
wore less with them mothers.
My senior class picture is taken in her dress.
Oh, right, because I was away from home.
Yes, you
Before
were.
then,
Oh,
I
get all of them.
I don't know, but that's what I went to high school on my senior year. was
Now,
I
I'm
was
going
as
to
close.
tell you
Where'd you
something
get that
my
many
husband
clothes? I didn't know you had all
Well,
that.
I got a little Snelsie's handed me down.
You have a lot?
Little Snelsie.
Well, I don't remember getting any of their clothes.
I did, I wore a lot
I
of
got
yours.
that.
And it's so strange, Martina, I'll tell you what Bill has said, and because we talk like this all the time about how poor we were. We were the poorest people in Ironton. Did you know that?
Mhm.
If you
Or
wanna
maybe
ask
second.
What it's like to
So-
be poor, I can answer you.
Yeah, and I said, well, you know, we did, we traded out there. And Bill said, but all of you were always so well dressed and always looked so pretty.
Oh, okay.
You said
See, so
that.
we covered it all.
Okay.
Bill. Nice, fool, Joe. Yeah, well,
She kept us clean.
you just had
Well,
to
were
take
the
care of what
cooks-
you had.
I had
Were
two
the cooks
sweaters
well off
in
then?
my senior year in high
No, but
school.
they thought they were.
And I worked,
Their dad was employed
and
also.
I couldn't have them on layaway.
Oh, okay.
He was fully.
Well, Poppy was, he just didn't get paid.
Big boxy
No,
things.
no, yeah, there were times when there
And
were
I put two of them on layaway.
large
And I got them
walls
out for
and,
Christmas,
yeah.
and I wrapped them up, gave them to myself for Christmas.
He,
Pop
yeah,
That
drove
was the
cold.
two sweaters I had on.
Right.
Other than
He
what I
worked
wore at
CNF.
Titus's.
No, Poppy.
Well, I wore clothes up to
he did
Well, I wore them.
whatever was
drove.
available.
Yes, I
But
wore
basically, he drove the coal truck.
my senior
Yeah,
pictures
but
made
his
at
dad
Titus's
was
dress.
old mines. It's-
But they didn't get paid.
Well, Mark,
And then I
People
got
didn't have
married
money
to
to
you.
pay. No.
If
My
you,
brother
if you
just-
don't
That's
have
what
any
Grant
money,
says anyway.
This dress that I wore then,
and yet
that
if
navy
you're
blue
cold,
trimmed in
they
red
carry
and
coal
white.
on coal mines and couldn't
And
pay
that's
for
what I
it.
had my graduation pictures made in.
They just, they finally had to close the mine.
You have to wait on yourself, Lynn.
And, but people
We're
didn't
married,
know what
we're
to do. What are
Yeah,
you gonna do about it? They're cold.
well,
And coal stoves, and coal.
Somebody help you.
honestly, I wish I
Fireplaces
could also,
burn
like,
coal, you know.
cook for myself. We have a cook at school, in our house, and she's not too with it. Everything's so
Have you
fried.
seen the commercial, the two boys at college and the candles?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
he asked the other one if he wants a grilled cheese sandwich, he said yes, and so he has to lay it on the iron board and puts it
Well, the news when they put out an automatic eating register on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Oh, I can see the
Yeah.
iron on the.
Oh, yeah.
And then, is that the one where he says, don't tell my mom?
And
Oh, well, and then one,
she gave him, sent him some, Campbell's tomato soup, and he said, don't you just love a cooked meal?
My kids grew up on tomato and chicken noodle.
Well, that's a good commercial.
Chicken noodle. Peanut butter and jelly. You should hear my daughter. You should hear my daughter. She's taking
I'll probably
on
do
the
my
school
shirt next.
system.
Which one?
Do your shirt first.
Nancy, my Nancy is,
Come on and sit down here and wait for that.
teaching
I'll
preschool.
put this
Sit
rocker.
right back.
Okay.
And you just.
She heard
sit
there was
on
an
her lap.
opening, she went
Just like you
over,
did
and
when you
you're
were
not
little.
qualified to teach, and she said, they hired me,
He's my doll.
no teaching certificate, but she's supervising, and this is a preschool
Yeah,
program,
he used to do this when
kind
he
of
was
a
more than I
private
rocked
thing,
him.
pre-kindergarten,
Mhm.
so they're supposed to get meals, and Nancy, having three of her
How
kids,
tall are you, about 6 feet?
these kids can't
Maybe
eat.
barely 6 months, 6 months,
I
yeah.
have children who are hungry.
Now, Teresa, if you want a picture, you get this
They
one here
are
before he gets up.
paying through the nose
Next
for this
weekend.
kind of help.
This is the way I used to
Some of
hold
these
him when
kids
he was
show up by
little.
7:30, so mommy and daddy can get to work. They pick them up at 4:30, 5 o'clock, you know. And these kids have, they will meet their lunch. And Nancy's very upset about it, so she's gonna take on the courses that they, she'll either get fired or they'll get some food in there. She said I threw away 7 little lunches one day, one last working day.
Yeah, she called
They
me.
had egg salad sandwich on whole wheat bread, not toasted. The kids didn't like the whole wheat bread. She said it was grainy, pretty grainy. The egg salad was about a
What I used to do
tablespoonful
is when I had
in one
I always had a
triangle.
cracker, and I would run back and get me a cracker.
You
That was my lunch.
Then they had a carrot stick.
Maybe out someplace taking somebody to the hospital or the doctor.
4.5-year-old kids don't want that. They just, they didn't eat it.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Some of them ate the middle out of it or opened it up and ate a little bit of it. So Nancy's, she gets a little irate, to say the least.
Oh, Rita, I was gonna ask you.
She likes it, she likes it, she'll,
She's the only brother.
and Janet is back in college.
What's she taking?
A year ago.
She got courses, she's to be recertified to teach, because she doesn't know that she'll have enough to do when Cam gets thoroughly established in
It's
school.
called derm or something.
Well, let's see, my kids have been into school and through school
Well, no, the fibrosis.
and out of school. My baby turns 30 next year and I haven't gotten bored yet.
Maybe a dermatologist.
She's just busy, she's not gonna stay home.
Maybe something like that.
Somehow or other, no, I don't mean to imply that it's, you know, but she's,
Or something.
she doesn't get any kick out of scrubbing the kitchen floor, and she's not going with
Very
her,
soon.
you know.
Well, I don't spend a lot of time doing that either.
And so she just likes to keep busy, so she's going back to college. And
Well, good for her.
And Bill called his doctor, actually.
Go ahead. even
Might
if
as
she never
well.
teaches, why not? Just do it.
Why not? Yeah.
Beats dusting.
About this, and would he write something and let him know what?
Would you like to
And
have
he
this
said,
chair?
Where's his hand?
You reach the table?
Yeah.
Shovel it in on that.
Dermocystic neurosis.
And it destroys these muscles.
Yeah. Well, you know what Bill Seibel had when he died, Max, my roommate in training, her daughter-in-law has the same thing now. Very, very ill.
What is
41 years
causing,
old.
what is causing this? Because they said it was a very rare thing. They
Don't
said,
know.
when Dad got it, they said that, this is something that you get out of the jungles or from working with teak wood or, just,
Joe's 41, Joe, Marcia is 41 years old and they have 2 children.
well, there's no cure for it, or at least there wasn't.
The doctor had told Max, he didn't tell Ted, that's her husband, told Max that he probably would have, or she probably would have less than 6 months. This was in June. And last I heard from Max, she was very bad.
Well, see, they gave Dad 8 months, 6 to 8 months, and he lasted 18 months, but he fought it like hell too, which didn't do anything in the end, but he tried.
And I feel sorry for Ted and for Marcia both, Of course, I know Max and Jim will have those kids to raise. They've got a little boy that's 12 and a little girl that's 5.
Well, this was the last thing you said it was.
Oh, some of those things are.
It's destroying his muscles, that's fine.
Yeah.
He's in a wheelchair.
This got to be very, just really terrible. Because I don't know how long
Well,
they
we had our 50th class reunion, what was it, 2 years ago? And all the men left the reunion Friday night with the Ironton ball game.
Well, they all went, a bunch of them went to a ball game from ours this year. Last week.
The people in Ironton really do support.
Support. All the men left.
I don't think I've been in Ironton High School tank stadium there since John was in band there in
We
junior.
drive past this thing, the high school, and when I was going to high school, I thought that school sat so far back from 7th Street. It always seemed like such a long walk
Yeah.
from 7th Street up to the front door.
I'm sure it was twice as long as it is now.
That's it.
It just,
It's like a long
yeah,
walk.
and it was so impressive.
Well, one thing too that makes it look shorter is because they took that one whole in and put that new basketball facility and all in there. That just makes all of that around there
I
look
didn't
small.
really look at
They
that.
have
the
a
first
sports
time-
area back in
Not too
there
long
that
ago,
is,
and I said,
looks like
that
a
was so
university.
close to the street,
Yeah.
so much closer than when we were
Yeah.
in high school. 50 years.
they have quite a series room, not just
Excuse
one
me.
little room
To
with
be
these
exact.
weights.
Yeah.
Beautiful
Yeah.
facility
I've never been in it, but everybody tells me
there. Oh,
it is.
we did once, I don't know
I
when
haven't
it
been
was.
back in the high school since
And-
John, we
well,
moved from Ironton.
we went with, you know, Dickie Bird. He's so adamant. And so we had to go see it. He would have thought he built it by himself. But there were a number of them that really still feel that protective and all that, and Ironton Mine. And so, but it was amazing what they had in there.
What time do you have to eat?
Thousands and thousands of dollars worth of
Now,
equipment and workout stuff and rooms. And
I'll be glad when
I
you
mean,
go.
they didn't just go out and bounce the ball,
they
you
have
know.
to go there and be more hours.
I don't know.
And here, we didn't have money, they closed up the swimming pool and,
She told me that she just had to do it, everybody told her she didn't have the money.
They wrestle, they filled in, they have like a roll wrestling.
Everybody made her decisions
They
for her.
closed that when I was in high school.
board
Did it
flooring
right?
over it.
Say that again.
Yeah, put a board flooring over it.
Everybody made
It was
her
never
decisions
used
for you.
again.
You didn't have to worry about it.
They had basketball court.
We
Not
just
the
used it for
girls,
a
you
gym.
understand.
Not the girls, you understand. It was the boys.
Now, we had the basketball court there when I was a freshman and sophomore in high school.
You got to play sometimes when nobody else was around.
When they closed the swimming pool, I was at the end of my 8th grade year. And they turned that into the girls' basketball gym. Well, I took freshman and sophomore year, because we only took gym 2 years,
Pool had been.
where the little pool had been. And in the one,
We just had used it for an exercise.
Yeah.
one of them, I was trying to think which one, annual, it's got the picture of the girls in the swimming class, and Ann Markin is diving, and I'm sitting there ready to go up onto the diving board following her, because we had gym, 8th period, 6th period, whatever, last period.
When you were there, you had a pool?
It
When
closed,
you
I
grade.
think,
At the end of my 8th grade year, because I took swimming from Hazel Sumter, and then Hazel left.
end of my
Well, of course,
sophomore
she was
year.
gone by the time I was.
Uh-huh.
End of my sophomore year.
Well, that was the end of my 8th grade. Yeah.
We stood out there with this woman who said, "All right, you guys wipe that grin off your face." And we go,
40, that's 40.
No, she was a sweet little farm woman from up south.
That's far-
This
40.
was,
That sounds like Miss Borgie.
no, but she really was sweet. She was no teacher, but she was a very sweet little lady.
She's so ugly.
Oh, that's all right. She wasn't the only one. This was a woman who came, she had a very good reputation. She came back after the war and wore Eisenhower jackets with the insignia on.
Well, that was,
So she was in the wax.
That would be good.
that would be after I left.
Oh, yes.
I
She only
remember her
stayed,
being there, what was
she
her
only
name?
stayed for a year or so because she
Uh-huh.
had a friend and the kids used to catch them parking. Only her name was
A girlfriend.
a little dark-haired woman. Taught there for years and years.
Uh-huh, and her mother was a roommate of Sophie's when she was up at the nursing home. Helen Schaefer's aunt, wait a minute, I'll say her name.
Things happen. Anyway, she came back from the wax, and that's what she wore. Every day was the skirt, you know, and the Eisenhower jacket.
No,
You
the
could
ones
see
in
where
the other bed with Sophie when she fell over.
stuff
Yeah.
on. And
They're the nursing
it
home.
was still a uniform, and she was teaching.
Josephine Weber.
And she was our
Yes.
gym teacher, but there were very few people being hired in Ironton at the time. Because a lot of them that had been here, they got out of town and found out there was a whole world out there, and they never came back. And then, so we didn't have a whole lot of teachers.
No. This Weber, her mother was Helen Schaefer's aunt. Helen Schaefer's mother's sister. One that has Schaefer's
You're
motor.
catching all this gossip?
One that has Schaefer's motor.
It's interesting.
Relation.
That's fine. I don't want to.
Why not? Joe. Get Joe in the picture.
No, I've been in enough.
What was her name?
You know, I'm sure she's in her book. Anyway, we used to get the giggles. I mean, she's trying to be really strict, and we take one look at her out there telling us what to do. She'd call us you guys.
Well, they always said Miss Borgie was gay.
Oh,
I
yes.
bet, but anyway, she told us she was gonna fail, I mean, there's all the seniors, and she's gonna fail every one of us because if we don't pass gym, if we can't graduate.
Oh,
And all we can do is laugh at things. And
What
she
was
said,
it she said to me one day? I used to work in OC West's office 14 years ago. That meant when you come back from lunch, I had to go around and collect lunch money, ball tickets, football and basketball and this kind of stuff. And I had to go to every room. And I had to go down there in the gym, out and shop and everything. I went down there in that gym one day and she must have been in a bad mood. And she said, let me tell you something, you guy. I looked at her and I said, are you talking to me? And she said, I called you you guy, didn't I? And I said, well, don't ever call me that again, because I'm a you girl, not a you guy. And I turned and walked out. And I went back up and I told Mr. West. And I said, and I did not collect for their basketball tickets, football tickets. He said, I'll take care of it. He did. She never called me that again. Oh, she was
well,
a
she
nasty
would say,
somebody.
all right,
She didn't want me
everybody,
in there to begin with, you guy.
Everybody
I'm
do
not a
3
you guy, I'm a
laps
you
around.
girl.
and
I went right to Mr. West.
Girl, this is the oval, the track oval, you know.
Way back.
All right, everybody
Boy,
take
you
3 laps
break
around the oval,
country
and we'd go way
down.
around the side and sit under a big old
Well,
oak
at
tree
that
and
time,
have a
nobody.
blast.
She was
And
on
we
the
keep
river
saying,
back one
we can't
time.
make it.
Who's that?
Oh,
Oh,
it's no wonder she'd get mad.
what?
I didn't either.
But she didn't punk any of us. I
mean,
think she
you
knew.
joked about it, but you
fact,
really
she
didn't
tried
think
to
about
make
it.
us-
I never heard it. No, it was Teresa, wasn't you?
It
I was gonna say, it wasn't
us
me.
or-
No, it wasn't you, it
Uh-huh.
was Teresa.
It was me.
Smoking in the restroom. And I said, well, she wrote, at least didn't come to school with helmet over our feet.
You stuck up for me?
Yeah. Sure did.
Did
The
you get
grand work of the
caught?
high school.
Did you get caught?
Oh, a few times. I wasn't with the everybody else. It's just, I always got caught from first grade on.
I didn't
I'm
believe
not
it.
smoking, but
Smoke.
No matter
No,
what I
Granny
ever
didn't
did,
know
I
I
got
smoked,
caught.
so.
No matter what I ever did, I got caught.
Oh, I just
But
didn't
we
do
all
anything, I
did.
shouldn't.
Well, I didn't do anything, but everybody blamed me
I got a
right.
lot out of it.
There was some in my class got caught. Now, I wasn't with them, not that I was all that much of a Pollyanna, I just happened to, I wasn't there. But they were smoking in
You
No, see,
mean
that
they
wasn't-
did it way back then too?
way back in the
Oh,
old
it
days.
did, I did
Oh,
it.
kidding.
When I was
Day
in high
one.
school, I
It was
was
when they began to,
I remember Betty Thornton.
but there were 7 that were
Well,
did
I
not
spoke
make
at
it.
school.
No, no, no.
No, I don't think anybody.
The National Honor Society.
I saw you teacher smoke at school.
Did you?
Why, of
Yeah,
course,
I
she
never
smoked
saw
in the restroom.
Shame.
Why, sure.
The shame of it, huh?
Sally Trubee and
Well,
Betty Jo Weimer, they used to go
That
there
had
in the
nothing to do with
restroom
your
right there,
intellectual.
across from where
It
Ruth
seemed kind of
Greininger's room
stupid
was.
in the long run.
And they'd go in there
But
and
they
smoke
made
and raise
rules
that
and
window
regulations
and let
and you were
it
supposed
go
to
out
pay
between the
along
building
and
there.
it
No, see, I
and
never
it was-
saw it.
That would be it.
Oh, I
And
used to
then
see
they
them
went
all.
through the
I was
period
too
where they
naive.
had
I was too
smoking designated
Well,
areas.
them too, man.
But by the
You
time,
remember
by that
I
time,
remember.
they knew you shouldn't be smoking, and they encouraged
Oh,
it.
but then they had the teachers' lounge.
There was a lot of things
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah,
Which one was that, Maxine?
it's like it was on fire.
And I
She wasn't the
never,
only one, believe you
I
me.
never heard of it. And what are they talking about? And I still don't know what they're talking about. Trying to explain to it, I was too thick-headed. I didn't want an abortion.
What was wrong? Oh,
An
an
abortion.
abortion.
An abortion. Maxine Grimes.
I probably
yes.
didn't know anything about an
Maxine,
abortion.
a beautiful girl.
Oh, very
I remember that there was a lot of talk about it, but I never knew what it was.
Oh,
And I'd
yes.
never heard of such thing. Never, I didn't want to. Who in the world told it?
The most upset I
Very
ever
good.
got, I worked there in the
Sorry,
cafeteria.
maybe
I
she
kept
told me
my
that.
nose out of everything, because I didn't want to get involved in any of it. There's a lot of things went on. But when Fred Bryant hit David in the head, that took the cake. And I really got him told, and I thought, I'm gonna do it. If I lose the job, that'd be all right. If he wasn't,
Fred Bryant was good at hitting people.
I told
Oh,
him.
he
I
was
said,
a nasty.
Yeah,
You
he
know
was.
why?
I got
I
whacked a
have
couple
to
of
see
times.
him again.
Oh,
He was a
Fred
math
Bryant?
teacher.
Uh, David was looking out the window.
school,
Beautiful
brother?
afternoon.
He had a ruler.
And he was
boy,
looking out the
he
window.
thought nothing was coming
And
up
he
and
walked
just
up and hit
whacking
him
her.
on the side of
Probably
the
knuckles
head.
because
He must have been
Turned his
really
head.
good. Mary
I
went
wasn't in a
down the
nice
bell.
way, pleasant
Remember
way.
Fred Staff?
Nice thing to
Mary,
have and be.
oh, he had to draw with a ruler.
Huh?
He used brass knuckles.
Did
Fred
David
Staff
say
did.
that?
Fred Staff.
No,
Fred Staff used brass knuckles on the kids.
Fred,
No wonder I was good.
David never told
Wow.
us
He
somebody
had
else
me,
from out
he had me in tears.
I was terrified.
Send me.
And I told him,
Arthur
and
Vulgaris.
I told Miss
And
Lambert
told
in the kitchen
That I
there,
was
I said, now
terrified.
when he
I'd never
goes
done
through the line
anything wrong in
today,
my life,
I'm
and all
gonna
you
tell him
have to
one
do
of
is
the
blink
things.
his eyes at me,
And
and
if
I
they
did.
send me out the back door, that's
Gone
good
into
enough for me,
hysterics.
because I.
Well, he got me
I
crying so
did
bad,
David.
he had to
And
send
I'm
me
gonna
home, I
remember
couldn't
David.
stop.
David hadn't
I
done
remember that, and that was
anything.
seventh
Well,
grade.
I was
And
in
I
Miss
told him,
Stobbs'
I said,
cloakroom there when
I
he beat
sure
up
don't
Art
like what you
Vulgaris
done
with
to David, my
brass knuckles.
grandson.
I didn't know what they were, but I went home and
He said, who
Miss
is
Stobbs
your
sent me home.
grandson? And
I
I
was
said,
telling Daddy
David
what happened.
Seifel.
And I
He
said,
said, why
he
didn't
had
they
these
use your
things on his
grandson?
fingers.
I
that
said,
went
what
around
difference
this
does
way,
it
and
make
that's what
whose
he began
grandson it
with.
was?
And he
Anybody,
said,
any
"You
man
need
that
brass
walked up
knuckles."
and
And I
hit a
said,
boy
"I
in the
don't know,
side of the
Daddy."
head with his
And so
fist,
the next day
and
he
he wasn't
went and
aware of
got some
that,
of his brass
scaring you
knuckles.
to
He said,
death.
"Was this what
I
this
said, that's
was?"
exactly
I
what
said,
you done,
"Yes."
and don't never do it
And
again.
I said, "That's what he beat Art
I said,
Vulgaris
it's too
with."
bad if you ever hit
And
him,
Daddy
if you ever
said,
lay your
"Don't you
hands
ever
on him."
go
I
near
really
him.
told him. And all the
Oh,
teachers
he
was
was
sitting
mad
right
about
back
that.
in the corner,
But
they
he
was
didn't
watching
either.
me, Andrew never told them that I was a kid. They didn't like
Sure,
him
he's
anyway.
in the seventh
They
grade.
said he got that job that he had there at school, he taught history.
They need to do something
He
about the schools.
misrepresented himself,
Tell me about it.
misrepresented himself
I
to
should
get the
have brought
job, he
that
told them.
piece out of the paper on
Yeah,
Friday.
he did
Credits he was
evaluate
supposed
it.
to have
It's
to
too
get the job,
important
but after they signed him
to
up
let
for it,
these
there wasn't
kids
nothing they could
stand.
do about it.
Yep.
So that's how he
We've
got in
got a
Iron High School to
paper
finish
Brian
his
brought
teaching.
home to us.
And I said, don't
And
never let it happen.
he's on the front page, he and two other teachers,
That's my grandson. I didn't
talking
know
about
he's
the
your
school where they
grandson. I
teach.
said, make no
where they
difference
have
whose grandson he is.
In high school.
Didn't
Oh,
have
no,
a
no,
business.
he's in juvenile
Yeah.
delinquent.
Oh, he made me mad.
Oh, he's
I
been
didn't
doing
ever
this now
get
for
fired.
4 years.
I was already to go out the back door.
He's not teaching at all.
Oh, yes,
And I
he teaches,
like-
he's under the city of Hamilton School Board, just like he always had been. But this is a 5-county, school, all the kids, all the boys are wards of court, and they have to go to school. The only thing they get out of is if the parents refuse to come for parent-teacher conference, then the judge ships the boy on and off to juvenile hall. And they really have a wonderful program. It tells how many of a percentage of these kids on their tests, performance tests, how many of them are in the 90s? They're smart kids, they're not dumb. Nobody cares for them. Parents won't get up and get them ready to go to school. Parents don't care where they are, what they're doing. Kids get in trouble because they have nobody to take care of them. And so anyway, these teachers, they came in and asked all these teachers these questions about kids, and the part that Brian had in it, in the article, was talking about these kids. They were good kids, but they were intelligent kids, and how many of them were in the 90 percentile on all of their testings and all of this, and the things that they did to make the program work. It goes right back to the good old thing of discipline. And if they don't mind the teachers, of course, each teacher has a security officer in the room with them at all times. And if the child does not do what the teacher asks, they just take him to the judge. And the judge just takes away his privileges. The judge can put him in the juvenile home, he can put him in wherever he wants to go. And you'll be surprised how well behaved those kids are and how much they do learn simply because somebody disciplines them. And they know they have to go by the rules and regulations. This one little boy, I can see Brian yet. He got to go to they have what they call their halfway house. When they finish their sentence, they go into the halfway house for so many weeks. And while they're in there, the social workers are trying to find them either a foster home or a home to go into before they let them go into their own home. This kid was in
But I understand they're going to try.
the home there, and it was Christmas time. Well, he didn't have a family. He had a mother and father, but nobody knew where they were. The judge was trying to find him. And here he was, there in the halfway house. bed and a chest of drawers. And of course, he had a pillow on his bed, and he had no clothes, he had nothing. So Brian and the other 3 teachers and a couple of the security officers decided they'd buy him some sheets and bought him a blanket, and they bought him some underwear and socks, and somebody had brought in some clothes, and they picked out shirts and pants for him. But the kid didn't know. He had a toothbrush, but no toothpaste, so they bought toothpaste and a comb. He didn't know what deodorant was, and he didn't know what cologne was. Well, they told him about using the deodorant, because he was 14 years old and he was beginning to stink. And so then they told him what to do with the cologne. And when he invited the teachers over to see his room after he got it all cleaned up and fixed up, and he got it showered and cleaned up.
Oh, fine.
And
I'm
he
doing
had,
great.
Brian said they walked in
enjoying
that
the
room,
weather.
what a
You're
judge
enjoying the weather,
Yeah,
I'm sure,
stop, do I have? And he said, what did you do with your cologne? And he said, well, I just poured it all over the place here so it smelled good.
Hi there.
And he said,
Hi. How are you?
all over his apartment.
Oh,
Hi, how are you?
How are you? What a surprise, yes, come ahead, come ahead.
Hi.
hi.
How are you doing, dear?
How are you, honey?
I'm fine. You look great. Every time I see you, you look better and better.
Oh. You're so dressed up. There's Ivis.
Hi, Iris.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
This is Bill's mother.
This is my
Oh,
mother-in-law.
Yeah, I met her once before.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Yes,
When
yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Miss Cook.
They're over there. There's mother.
Hi,
Hi there.
how are you? I'm just fine. You feel cold.
It's chilly out. It's a little chilly out. Watch his chair.
Okay, thank you.
Now, there's mother.
Hi, Mother.
We're sitting here just talking and talking and talking.
Oh.
You guys have home since the rain? Sally.
I didn't know I was getting in on the reunion.
Oh, yes, my yes, and we are all.
I meant for her to watch it. I thought she was going to.
Here's a seat here you might be more
Would you
comfortable
be
in.
more comfortable?
I don't know.
And you might be more comfortable there.
There. Can I get you something? Cup of coffee? Coffee.
Zucchini bread?
What?
Somebody's
Zucchini
dirty.
bread?
Zucchini bread? How are you?
I'm doing fine, how are you?
Hey, Mom.
This
I want
house is.
coffee.
This is Leslie Ann's.
Oh,
Leslie Ann. Ivis is older stuff.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, you remember? Okay.
There.
Look up here, Mom.
Like
Cheese.
Be sure you say cheese.
Yeah. Watch your language. Bill.
Oh, yeah? I won't say cheese.
You know what you're supposed to say, Gran? You know what you're supposed to say when he takes his picture?
No, I don't.
No, no.
Okay.
Say cheese.
He says that.
You want me to say what you said?
That's what you're supposed to do.
Don't give me any more trouble.
Yeah, but we're out of school. We don't have to worry about that.
It's cold out there. There you are. And can I get you
Okay,
a,
girl, take-
let me see.
Zucchini bread?
Get you some,
Peanut butter cookie?
cookie or zucchini bread. Let's see.
She said a cookie.
Well, cook
Well,
right
they're
there.
over here. Wait a minute. Now I
I
have to find
made
it.
6 sets of pictures for our graduation outfit, you know, our reunion, 50th reunion.
My nose is going to start running.
I made 6 sets so
Okay,
far.
I'm not.
Leslie Ann.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be nice for the kids to
I
get.
got everybody's picture but yours,
And this is your
You
papa
know,
well
here.
done.
by Rita.
You have to say that
Hit
magic
right
word.
here, right here. You know right here.
Oh,
Your pawpaws about gone?
poopy.
Are your pawpaws about gone?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, poopy, huh?
You like them?
Well, mother does, I don't.
Oh, I love them.
Do you really?
Yes.
I was gonna say, the moon's gone.
Did you get something to eat?
Oh,
Okay.
she's having a cookie.
Okay, okay. Is it raining? Still raining?
It wasn't when we came in.
Good,
Really
good.
much.
Cool.
Are you all dressing up tonight?
I'm wearing-
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna put on some clean clothes.
You can
I
really,
wore this
you
the other
really
day.
can go in this.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not, I mean, your grand's wearing this, mother's wearing that.
No, I'm probably gonna put
Well,
on
Iris is
that
all
clean
dressed
I think I'll take
slacks.
this off.
I
I
I'll
wore
do
this
something
one
else
day.
on.
Oh,
it.
okay.
Well, I washed mine yesterday and so it's clean.
I put it on this morning, I knew I'd put on something clean. So I-
6, did they tell you that? I
What?
told Rita they'd hold it till midnight. That's okay,
Well,
yes, yes,
You
yes,
got a
because I
guarantee?
need to go anyway. And I
Yeah, I'm
want
going
to go
to
change
because,
some
uh,
clothes and
what's
we
this?
go on up about 4.
Okay.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Sure
Yeah, about
can.
4 so we can get it
Yeah.
cleaned up.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah,
I
it's 20 after 3 now, so.
can wash my face and all kinds of important
I didn't know I was getting him over here now.
Well, you're a part of the family, aren't you?
It's just family.
We're all family. Well, almost. Yeah, there's one stray.
There's always.
See, Ivis?
Yeah, there's
By
two of us
adoption.
crazy. Is that right?
Oh, we just add to the family.
Well, that's what I said, Francis just got ready to go up and then we cleaned up,
You're
get
real good, Iris.
clean clothes on.
I feel good.
And what time are we gonna meet and where?
Well, down at the dining room,
Uh-huh.
the buffet room.
She's
and
always
everything.
very unfun.
But it's around
Very,
6.
very
like-
special.
And,
You can't hear a whole lot of.
Ramada, right?
No, it's the Grandview where you're staying.
Oh, it's gonna be there.
Somebody's already gotten it.
I thought it was the Ramada.
It's never
That's what
for
I
anybody.
That's why I
told,
went.
what I told everybody.
Matthew
I
must
found
have got it.
out from Les, it's at the Grandview, and I said, well,
It's
that'll
at the
work out
Grandview.
fine, because that's where they're staying.
No,
I didn't
it's
know
not
that.
reunion. It's
So
just
our
a
mom
get
had a
together.
fire, and it's closed.
Oh, I did too. That's what we talked about all the way back.
Been in a lot of trouble, wouldn't we? I'm looking at the food.
So they had, they're still closed. Mom's still
Well,
closed.
I think so.
They had a fire.
Well, I did not know that we were gonna be there at the.
Oh, thank you. I'm waiting for the
Oh,
crab
you
legs.
know, they're good. When Iceland told us, when we said we couldn't get in, and they said, well, we have a fire, but the dining room
And
is open.
salad.
And I didn't know whether we were going to bring them going. I'm not to eat,
What?
so the fire was open. But it was just the upper floor.
Oh, you're wow,
They had a
cookies.
fire.
You gotta take a picture of the cookies.
Well, I told them that we had for our reunion there at Grandview.
Yeah, homemade.
Delicious.
Well,
But the what we got in the dining room,
well, they
Our
told us
breakfast was
that they've been advertising this place on radio. TV.
We've been there a couple of times, and, I mean,
at the Grandview.
yeah, at the Grandview, and Dan is one of these people who doesn't make a big fuss about it.
Not really, but if they're laid off,
He's
yeah.
secondary stuff in your life, you know.
Phone for you?
But he said he would, he said he would drive down to Ironton, if you would have that dinner or something.
It's a lovely house.
That's good.
Hand me the phone, Midge.
Betty's supposed to be meal-wise.
No, thank you. Hello? Hi.
Well, yeah, but
Uh-huh.
Oh, oh, you got all your shopping done then, huh?
I just wonder if Marie Ann has caught in the rain. She's supposed to be in Columbus now today, isn't she?
Yeah.
Coming down home tomorrow, isn't she?
Well,
Sunday.
Sunday.
Sunday, she's coming down with Mark.
Our job.
Yes,
It'll take a
Albrecht.
couple, 3 hours.
Did you ever think of John Albrecht's first name?
John, isn't that funny? She said John Albrecht, and I said, no.
I thought I
They're
lost
going
my
to the
mind.
football game tomorrow.
Huh?
Going to the football game tomorrow. It's homecoming day at Ohio State.
Coming down Sunday.
She's coming Sunday. Yeah, they'll be driving back to Ironton on Sunday. So she's coming back with them. Yeah, and I told her to bring warm clothes. We talked to her, I don't know, what is today? Yesterday.
Today's
And I said,
Friday.
bring your woolly clothes. And she said, what? Bring woolly clothes. And she said, I'm outdoors in the sunshine raking leaves. And it's very cold. It's going to get very cold.
Yeah.
Oh, no. It always does, though. A football game. homecoming. And they have all the parades, and they have lots of stuff, and it always rains on it, you know. They'll have a good time anyway.
Where they go to the ball game today?
Tomorrow, it's tomorrow, uh-huh.
Ball game that Ed and I came up here to see that time. It started with rain, and turned to sleet, and turned to snow.
See, and it'll be fine any other day, but it's homecoming, and they, you know, they do the parade bit,
I want to get cleaned up.
the queen bit, and the flowers.
Ready to go.
In the rain.
We took our showers this
Yeah, we
morning.
did too, just before we left home.
Clothes on, we wore, I think,
That's 25 after 3.
We can
I want to get my face
your
washed.
face wash and change clothes.
6 o'clock. Oh, it's not so long. Couple hours. Yeah, about hours. You had to leave here by 5:30, get up there by 6 o'clock.
No, not really.
Oh, we'll take half an hour.
Oh, at least. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Am I ruining your story?
So she'll be ready.
Sorry.
So she'll be ready.
She's going to share. That's what we had to go through her clothes to see what she could wear.
Oh, boy, oh, boy.
We're also dressed up.
God, I'm glad we don't have to go through all of it. I hate that thing of leaving the grandview to go through all of it.
Such a lot of effort.